On June 18, 1815, Napoleon Bonaparte secured a decisive victory at Waterloo, crushing the Allied forces led by Wellington and Blücher. His tactical brilliance, deploying artillery effectively and exploiting gaps in Allied lines, proved fatal for the coalition. This victory marked a dramatic turnaround after his exile, re-establishing French dominance. The battle's outcome hinged on Napoleon's ability to isolate and defeat the Prussians before they could reinforce Wellington, a gamble that paid off in this alternate timeline. In July 1815, Napoleon returned to Paris as a conqueror, greeted by euphoric crowds. His victory at Waterloo silenced critics and restored his image as France's savior. Public squares brimmed with citizens chanting "Vive l'Empereur," while political opponents grudgingly pledged loyalty. This adulation allowed Napoleon to dissolve the provisional government and reclaim absolute authority. The Tuileries Palace became the stage for his renewed imperial ambitions, symbolizing France's resurgence. By late 1815, Europe's powers, Britain, Prussia, Austria, and Russia, faced a dilemma. Napoleon's victory fractured their alliance, forcing them to negotiate. The Congress of Vienna dissolved into heated debates, with Prussia demanding revenge and Austria seeking compromise. France leveraged this disunity to regain territories like the Rhineland. Diplomatic letters revealed Britain's isolationist leanings, while Tsar Alexander I reluctantly acknowledged Napoleon's renewed strength. Throughout 1816, Napoleon's armies marched into Belgium and the Rhineland, reclaiming lost territories. Conscription swelled French ranks, but occupation policies sparked local resistance. Economic reforms, like the Continental System's revival, boosted French industry but alienated neutral states. Satirical cartoons from the era depict British merchants panicking as French tariffs cripple their trade. However, overextension loomed. Maintaining control required relentless military presence. By 1817, war exhaustion ignited protests across France. Bread prices soared due to blockades, and conscription notices were torn off walls. Even Napoleon's marshals, like Ney and Davout, privately questioned endless campaigns. Pamphlets circulated in Paris, criticizing the emperor's blood tax. This dissent forced Napoleon to delay plans for invading the German states, revealing cracks in his authoritarian rule, despite Waterloo's glory. In 1818, the Treaty of Brussels temporarily halted hostilities. Napoleon agreed to withdraw from the Netherlands in exchange for British recognition of French sovereignty. However, clauses allowing Prussian forts near the Rhine bred distrust. Satirists mocked the peace built on gunpowder, and Tsar Alexander began covertly funding Polish rebels. The treaty's ink was barely dry when Austria mobilized troops, signaling its fragility. By 1819, Prussia and Austria declared war, supported by Russian funds. Napoleon, now 50, led campaigns personally, but struggled with fatigue. Battles near Leipzig and Munich became bloodier than Waterloo, with French lines buckling under coalition numbers. Letters from soldiers described fields littered with cuirasses and broken sabers. Despite early victories, France's resources dwindled, exposing the limits of Napoleonic strategy without conscription support. In 1821, after a disastrous retreat from Saxony, Napoleon surrendered to Allied forces near Metz. Unlike 1814, there was no Elba. Britain exiled him permanently to St. Helena. Caricatures showed him boarding a ship as a broken figure, while Parisians rioted against Bourbon restoration. Historians later argued Waterloo's victory only postponed the inevitable. France's overreach and Europe's collective resolve sealed his fate.